Shalom, all praises to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, the honors to the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, peace and salutations to the elect, and all the brothers pushing this work in sincerity and in truth. This is Brother Thamai from GMS Toronto, coming at you with another video. So, um, this video I'm going to be talking about one of the ways that Esau Edom has used his words to trick our people into eating unhealthy foods, right? What you see on the screen here is three Jakes, three Israelite children eating watermelon, right? And this was a tactic that Jake fell for, right? Where Jake stopped eating watermelons, right? Because watermelons, it's a very very essential and healthy fruit. We'll say food, right? Um, when you go into the benefits of watermelon, especially when it comes to men, it makes you it's like a natural Viagra, okay? And Jake, you already know how Jake sex drive is very very high, right? This is the reason why a lot of these people they shame Jake into being being with one woman, right? Or you have to be one woman. You're a cheater, right? That's the language that they use because the so-called black man's sex drive is higher, right, than the average man, right? And everyone knows this. So when Jake was eating all this watermelon, eating the seeds, the seeds is very high and I think nitric acid. So we'll see um, benefits of watermelon. Okay, so watermelon is a natural source of citrulline. Citrulline is an amino acid, right, that may support better erections. So Jake would eat watermelons and not even knowing the benefits that he was getting from watermelon. Viagra works by increasing blood flow to the penis, allowing a man to more easily get an erection when he is aroused. Citrulline may do the same thing, although it works in a different way to Viagra. So Esau's Edom, you know, this is their thing, Viagra. Okay, Jake, the Lord gave us watermelon. Okay, you're supposed to blend even the green part, the skin, right, the husk. You're supposed to blend that part too. But you can't trust this. You can't trust can't trust Esau Edom unless you're growing it by yourself and you can blend it. If it's coming from a farm or whatever, you can't do that, right? So even now, what do they do with the watermelon? They take out the seeds, right? They make watermelons without seeds, right? Um, the Lord made watermelons with seeds, right? The third day, I think it's the third day. God made. Let's put seeds. Let's see what it says here. Genesis 1 and 3. And the evening and the morning were the third day. Okay. Yep. So Genesis 1 and 12. And the earth brought forth grass and herbs, yielding seed after his kind, right? And the third, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seeds were in itself after his kind. And Yahweh saw that it was good. Okay. And the evening and the morning were the third day. So you see that fruits are supposed to be made with seeds. So Jake has an affinity for watermelons, right? So this is what they would call us, watermelon munchers, as a byword. Not just typing for blacks, for black people, right? This was a racial slur. It was a watermelon stereotype. Let's see what it says here. The watermelon stereotype is an anti-black racist trope. Let's see what that word means. The literal trope is a use of figurative language, word phrase, or an image for artistic effect, such as using a figure of speech. Okay. originating in the southern states, southern United States. It first it first arose as a black face, the backlash against African American emancipation and economic self efficient sufficiency in the late 1860s, right? So this was a racial epithet or um, a byword, right? After the American Civil War, in several areas of the South, former slaves grew watermelon, right, on their own land as a cash crop to sell. Thus, for African Americans, watermelon were a symbol of liberation and self reliance. But for many in the majority white culture, watermelons embodied and threatened a loss of dominance. So you see, this was also what do you call it again? Um, what's the word I'm looking for? Propaganda. Okay. Southern white resentment against African American led to a political potent culture caricature using the watermelon to disparage African American as childish and unclean, among other negative attributes. Okay, so the fact that Jake was using a fruit, right, to sell so he can make money, that was putting a dent in their economic feasibility, I would say. Okay, so this is a postcard that they used to sell. Eyes so happy, right? And this was very helpful to Jake. This is what Jake was making all them children in the South, man, because of the watermelon, right? And these Edomites didn't like watermelon like that, right? Mainly majority because our people, this is mainly all that they had, and it was easier to grow because all you need are seeds. That's it, right? Same thing with the pumpkin, but this was a propaganda. It says here, who said watermelon, right? George Washington, watermelon, Columbus Brown, iced black as any little coon in town at eating what melon. I can put a pig to shame. So this is all propaganda that they use for for Jake to stop selling watermelon at the end of the day, really, and to stop eating watermelon because you know, like I said, it's filled with citrulline, right, and it keeps your dick hard, you know. So these are all the propaganda that was used against Israelites for them to stop selling watermelon, and not only that, like it says here in the pictures. So you see, for in order for that, mean Jake was benefiting from this greatly. For them to put a whole campaign out making Jake look like he's a piece of shit, even for growing watermelon, man, so he can sustain himself, right? See this? You were also called a watermelon muncher. These are all postcards. These are all postcards. You can plainly see how miserable I am. So you see, even a small thing as eating watermelon, man. Holy crap! Why do watermelon grow? The Coon trademark. So Jake was literally making a killing from selling watermelons, and they had a problem with this, man. That's why they burned down all your cities, your towns, right? The jealousy runs deep, right? Picking any freeze, right? Eat seeds and all, right? So this is another reason why um, they know that the watermelon was very essential and very healthy, and Jake was benefiting from it. And now they make watermelons without seeds, right? Eat seeds and all. Now Jake don't even eat watermelons. You know, comes with that thing where if you eat watermelons, you feel like you're gonna be made fun of. Is your man Valentine's, right? So that's where it started. A proverb and a byword, man. Let's go right to the curse. Let's go right to the curses. Deuteronomy 28 and 28, 37. It says here, let's see what it says here in the MSG. God will lead you and the king you set over you to a country neither you nor your ancestors have heard of. There you'll worship other gods and no gods of woods of stone among the people where God will take you. You will you'll be treated as a lesson or proverb, a horror, right? It says here in the King James Version, and thou shalt become an astonishment and a proverb and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee, right? And don't you see that? And that's just one. That's a propaganda, right, of a racial campaign that was led against Jake. That was just one campaign, okay? You can go into the laziness in cartoon where Jake walk around with his ass out, right? His pants below his waist. Even when Jake was productive and have cities where he was thriving, businesses and all that, they would still push these cartoons, right? Same things with these propagandas with these watermelon campaign. Okay, more benefits of watermelon. I'm not even gonna go into the sexual part. Watermelon. Let's see what it says here. Helps with digestion. Helps with hydration. Skin health. Vitamin C. Right. Let's see what skin health. Wellness benefits of vitamin and antioxidants and watermelon contribute to radiant skin. Vitamin C assists in the production of collagen, right? A protein. So it goes into the amino acids, right? May contain the vitamin C. The source of collagen is essential for structure and immune function. So Jake was benefiting highly from this, improving skin and hair health. Watermelon can help to improve the appearance and health of the skin and hair as it contains vitamin A, C, right? And together, these vitamins and minerals help boost skin health, right? So you can read a little more on that. Hydration. Let's see. Watermelon is uh, around 90% of water and also provides electrolytes such as potassium. This makes it a healthy choice of snack during the hot summer, and that's what Jake would do. Okay, and Esau had a problem with that because of all the health benefits, right? Because at this point, Jake was asked out. He didn't have any, economy when this whole watermelon phenomenon started, and Jake was looking damn good, okay, due to the fact that they were eating all these watermelons, right? Um, Skin health, hydration, digestion. Watermelon contains plenty of water and a small amount of fiber, both of which are necessary for healthy digestion. Fiber help thrust and regularity. Watermelon has high water content and also provides some fiber. These nutrients promote a healthy gut by preventing certain things. By preventing what? It doesn't go. It doesn't say. But it's okay, right? So let's see, this is 20 more. Weight control, right? It also helps with cancer. The National Cancer Institute trusted that no, the free radicals can play a role in the development of some type of cancer, right? Hypertension, and these are all diseases that Jake is suffering from now, right? Watermelon was a stabilizer, okay, in curing Jake because Jake would eat all those fried food. He'll eat pig, he'll eat raccoon because that's all you had at that point. So this watermelon will clean their body out, man. from all these nasty ass foods that we're not supposed to eat. It says muscle soreness, um, citrulline, and amino acids found in watermelon may have benefits. Trusted source that include improving exercise performances. Okay, so it helps with recovery, right? Better immune function, right? May lower blood pressure and reduce the risk of heart diseases. Okay, so these are all potassium, lycopene, magnesium, eye health. Let's see what it says here for eye health. It's good for your eyes. Watermelon is also brimming with nutrients that support your overall eye health and may help prevent age related vision disorders. Okay, helping with diabetes, right? This is all things that watermelon is used for. And Jake was, his diabetes was very low back then. Now, it's like we're known for hypertension and diabetes due to the fact that we don't eat watermelons anymore, right? And this was it's even used for weight control. Back then, you hardly find fat Jakes because they had to work, they had to move, and plus the watermelon, man. So the fact that they used the watermelon ads campaign against Jake. Now Jake hates watermelons because he looked at it. He's looking at it like it's one of those things that it was used. They called you a watermelon muncher, right? It's blacks. So now Jake hates watermelon, man. He don't want to see watermelons. Even sitting on the front porch and a watermelon. All these things are campaigns that was used against Jake, right? Watermelon ads. What is it? Water ads. Watermelon. Right? The watermelon stereotype. Let's go into it again. It did get right to the point against African Americans and economic self sufficiency in the 1860s. So Jake didn't need them, right? The fact that Jake made his own way, because the scripture says he's the former of all things. He's the former of all things, right? Jeremiah 10 and 16. But the portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name, right? So these are all ad campaigns. Jake didn't need them. Jake was pretty much being economically sustainable with these simple fruit as watermelon. Okay, anything that you're the only one producing, you're gonna be rich. You're gonna get, you're gonna make some money. And the fact that Jake was doing this, they had to use these ads in order for people to stop messing with Jake, right? And now Jake hates watermelon, right? This is a postcard from 1909 with the caption of "Eyes are so happy." So that all stems from jealousy. Okay, this is all stem from jealousy. Um, let's go back into the book of, I think, Ezekiel. Is it Ezekiel? His bows were higher. Let me see, Ezekiel, and this is going. It's going into Adam, right? Um, Ezekiel 21. Hold on. Select, yeah. 2 seconds. Um, birds made their bows, made their nest. Something like that. Let's see what it says here in Ezekiel 31. All right. Okay. Let's get Ezekiel 31. Scripture said there is nothing new under the sun. All right. It says here, let's start at 2. Son of man, speak unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and his multitude. Who art thou like? Who art thou like in thy greatness? Behold, the Assyrians. Just drop down to yeah. And this, behold, the Assyrians were cedar in Lebanon with fair branches and with a shadow shroud and as a high stature, and his top was among the thick bows. It says here, verse 4: the waters made him great, the deep set him up on high, and his rivers and her rivers running around about his plants, and set her little rivers unto the trees of the field. Therefore his height were exalted above all the trees of the field. So when you go back into um, the book of Genesis, right, it talks about the trees of the garden, right, and Adam was one of those trees, right. Um, trees is that was a metaphor for the nations. And Adam's boughs and his trees were taller than the rest of the trees in the garden. Therefore, the other trees were jealous. Okay, and now we're seeing that again. Every kingdom that we go in, that's the reason why these other nations hate us so much, because our trees, our branches, always stand out, right? Even when we're at our lowest point, which is now, majority of the Israelites still stand out, right? They're still in entertainment, they're still in jobs, right? You can't go anywhere without seeing Jake, and Jake has been given the least amount of help in the society, right? So now we're seeing it again, that jealousy has always reared its ugly head. That's why you have Black Wall Street and all those other towns and cities that was burned to the ground and invaded because of this right here. Okay? Therefore his height, okay, and sent her little rivers unto all the trees of the field, right? So you see all those talents that Jake has, right? These the other trees of the field, which are the other nations, and they see it, and that's why they act the way they do. But at the same time, they hate you and love you at the same time. Therefore, his height was exalted above all the trees of the field, and his boughs were multiplied, and his branches became long because of the multitude of waters, because he shot forth. When he shot forth, where did I get because from? Right, and the fowls of heaven made their nest in his boughs. So it's the same thing when you go into um, the book of Luke, when it talks about Lazarus, right, and it says the dogs licked his sores. This is the same thing, right? They always add on to Jake. They always use Jacob, okay? They always use him, and then when they're done with him, they just leave him to die on the side of the road, right? Just like how Amalek, he don't have any talent. So what did he do? He created certain things that, like the entertainment industry, music industry, right? He's the one that runs all of these industries, right? But Jake is the one doing all the work because he's the one with the talent, right? So this is a part of them being fowls, making their nest in his boughs, right? And under his branches did all the beasts of the field bring forth their young, and under his shadow dwelt all great nations. Thus was he fair in his greatness, in the length of his branches, for his root was by great waters, and that represents the Lord and the spirit that he put in Jacob. Okay? That's how we were made when we shot forth out of the waters. Right? We were made special. The Lord said he made us peculiar. Okay? And even with the laws, made us even greater. Right? But this is the reason why the Lord is going to put the laws into our hearts, because this will be the completion of Jake being perfect. Okay? And the Lord is going to deal with us forever and ever. And these nations are not going to have a damn thing to say about it. They're going to recognize, they're going to know. The cedars in the garden of God, right, which represents the people of the nations, could not hide him, right? Just like when Adam, right, when Adam was trying to hide himself, he couldn't. You Israelites always stand out. Even if you look like the other nations, you're gonna start acting a certain way, because the Lord said we're lively people, man. We're lively stones. The fir trees were not like his boughs, and the chestnut trees were not like his branches, nor any tree in the garden of God was like unto him in his beauty. Right? Just like now, is the Moabite like us? No. Is the Elamite like us? Is the Edomite like us? No. All these other nations are not like us. Right? Therefore, we stand out, and therefore the hate from these other nations. Right? When you go into Psalms 83rd chapter, I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches, so that all the trees of Eden that were in the garden of God envied him. Right? That's why you see Edom put out all these propagandas about uh, these watermelons, because Jake was being rich from it, and he didn't need Esau anymore. So Esau was envious, just like how all these nations are envious. Why do you think they come into your neighborhoods and put supermarkets and all that stuff? Is because they know once they attach themselves to you, that's where all the money is, and then they will act like they don't need your money. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, because thou hast lifted up thyself in height, and he hath shot up his top among the thick boughs, and his heart is lifted up in his height. Right? This can also go to Edom, because right now Edom is playing this role. Right? So let's leave it there. That was just one example of how Esau used just a fruit, us benefiting from a fruit, to use a propaganda in order for us to uh, stop using that fruit and stop selling that fruit, right? He went off. He went off with his ad campaign, right? Making Jake feel like shit for even like trying something different other than slavery, working for free, right? Esau Edom couldn't even do this thing with a watermelon. He had everything. That's how you know he wasn't used to working. He didn't, he couldn't think for himself, right? All the patents and everything is Jake. All the inventions are Jake. Now look at him now. He has everything in his hand and he destroys everything. The watermelon he makes with no seeds. The fruits he makes with no seeds. The cattle's now they're all GMO. The meat is all lab made. So this man has to go. Okay? When the real stewards of the earth, when we were in hardcore captivity, we were better off without Esau Edom. Shalom.